I'm gonna go over Aries season with you guys. I know it's been kind of crazy. We ended Pisces season with light being shed on the virus and everything that's going on with everyone being on quarantine and things like that. So it's kind of interesting when you look at the cosmo part of it, because as above, so is below. So let's get started. I want to start with the Chinese zodiac. As you know, we're entering the year of the metal rat, and that started on January 25th, and it will end on February 11th, 2021. The last time we had the year of the metal rat was 1960. This is considered the year of new beginnings and renewals, which is really cool because, as we all know, once we get to the other side of this quarantine, things are not going to be the same again. And we're all just, excited. Some people are scared. Some people are curious. So many, emotions set for the future, but overall it's still unknown. But it's a new beginning and a rebirth. So I'm excited personally. But the rat is the first of all zodiacs according to the myth. The Jade Emperor said the order would be decided on which order the animals arrived to the party. And the rat tricked the ox into giving him a ride and jumped in front of the ox. I keep saying fox, but it's ox, to be first. So that's what made the year of the rat the first year in the Chinese zodiac. The year of the rat is associated with the midnight hours from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. That's like the spiritual hour to be up and creative and inspired and insight and prayer and all that fun stuff. The earth Libra G, it is also associated with Yang, which represents the beginning of a new day, which is the white swirl on the yin and yang, which represents brightness, passion, and growth. This is the sign of wealth and abundance. This is also, people pray to the rat for children, because one thing we do know is rats know how to reproduce. Rats are clever, quick-witted, and successful, but content and quiet and peaceful. They are sensitive to emotions, but stubborn with opinion. They are kind, but their poor communication skills make them appear rude and impolite. They may appear either cheap or so used to hoarding that they may indulge in wasteful spending. Men are creative and clever and have great ideas, but they lack courage and leadership skills. The women are traditional, organized, responsible, and family-oriented, and both enjoy lavish things and constant social outings. They don't do well with restrictions and routines. The year of the rat brings opportunities, achievement, success, and abundance to all signs. Be sure that goals are carefully planned during the season. The metal element brings water, which means productivity and activity for metal industries. This is a good time to invest in car industries, IT, tech, health, cosmetic, productions. So that's pretty cool that that's a prediction for the metal rat, because right now the stocks for everything is really low because the businesses are doing pretty bad, and we all know that when the stocks are really low, that's like the best time to invest, because eventually once everybody starts going outside again, everybody's gonna have like cabin fever, so everybody's gonna be quick to get on like the ships and travel and buy things. Everybody's gonna be wanting to go shopping and wanting to travel. So yeah, definitely do that now. It's the year of the new beginning, so you're definitely in control on how you want to spend this new beginning for yourself. Definitely spend this year planning and building, because next year when we come on the other side of this, it's gonna be so crazy. It's gonna be crazy for a lot of us. I hope that everyone listens to their insight and goes inward during this time and really listen to what spirit wants them to do and what they're called upon to do. I think that's really important during this time, especially as we're coming together and we're starting to talk to each other more. If you're going inside and you're sharing with others what you're discovering when you go inside, we're sharing some good messages, getting some good energy out of that. Turn a bad thing good. That's what I think of it. But anyway, moving on. Aries season. In the Kabbalah, this is the month of Nisan. Sorry if I'm butchering it. This is from March 21st to April 19th. This is the first sign of the year, according to the lunar and solar astrological cycles. This is the first sign of the year. Those born under the sign are usually powerful, energetic, aggressive, militant, and domineering. They always want to be the winner. They're very competitive, and they have like a one-track mind to like defeat whoever it is that they're trying to defeat. This season marks the Israelite exile from Egypt, the beginning of the journey of slavery to salvation. So that's why, another reason why it's considered like the year of new beginnings and rebirth. This season provides us with the strength of the cosmos to break free of all limitations and bondage of any kind. It helps us to leave behind personal blockages that prevent us from achieving true freedom. The opportunity to redesign our entire year, to implement order rather than chaos. Yeah. The Passover this year is April 9th. This is the best time to get some level of order, and yeah, it's the best time to like meditate on your blockages and things like that. So yeah, we're starting a new year, a new astrological year, and that's very exciting. In all seasons, the symbol for the season is the ram. It expresses stubbornness, determination, fierceness. We all know, the energy of a ram. That is the energy of the season, that determination, that unstoppable energy. We all know Aries is also a fire sign, and our fire signs have strong basic instincts. They're quick in temper, but they're also quick to cool down, and they're physically active and sporty. The Suit of Wands is the tarot suit that's associated with the fire sign, and these cards deal with the here and now. They're indicators of action and creativity. The stones this time are carnelian, which is our energy stone, our motivator stone; hematite, which balances masculine and feminine energies; citron, which is a good stone for your sacral chakra; gold, which is the metal of confidence and extrovertness and energy; obsidian, which is our protective stone; and tiger's eye, which is the stone for insight. Those are the stones for the fire sign under Aries. Aries is also a cardinal sign, along with Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. People under this sign are initiators and trendsetters. They're self-motivated, they're active, and they're also independent. And they can also be seen as arrogant, domineering, or hasty if they're interpreted in that way, but that's not their intentions. Mars, which is the planet of war, is associated with Aries season. This planet allows us to wage war on the conflicts externally, but also the conflicts that we're dealing with internally. It encourages us to infuse the year with right consciousness in any war zone, no matter, which war zone, you're focused on right now. Mars also rules over lust, skillfulness, preservation, and our animal instincts, as well as our energy, our actions, and our sexual desires. So you may be feeling a little sexy right now. The tarot card associated with Mars is the Tower card. Upright deals with unforeseen obstacles and disruptions that are difficult to deal with, and also abandoning past ties. And reverse, the card deals with the worst of the disruptions are now over, and it's time to piece your life back together in a positive way. So either way, the card kind of deals with like a new beginning and prepping yourself for something new and letting go of the old. The garnet is the stone associated with Mars, and that's the stone of passion, sensuality, and encouragement. Red jasper is also another stone, and that's the stone of stamina and strength. Iron is the metal associated with Mars, and that's the metal of energy, protection, and taking initiative. Rhodochrosite is the stone of energy and self-esteem. And if you want some stones or some jewelry, some altar decor with those stones in it, I do have those on lessnobodiescollection.com. You can also find those on my Instagram page at Sunshine Monet and all that fun stuff. And I'll actually like take the time out to show you guys a couple of pieces that I have that are associated with this season. When I'm done reading everything, I'll do that for you guys. Tuesday is associated with Mars and Aries. This is the day that's focused on protection and strength, courage, sexual energy, and healing. Also a day to focus on taking initiative, getting in tune with your drive and your motivation, and trying to, get in tune with how and where you're directing your energy, where you have been doing it, and reflect on that and make plans on how you plan on redirecting your energy, whether it be your sexual energy, your business-minded energy, your financial energy, just any energy you may be, focusing on. This is the day to cleanse it, get inside with it, invoke whatever netter or orisha you need to invoke to channel where you want your energy to be, or where you need assistance at in your energy. The stones under Tuesday are the bloodstones, which removes energy blocks, and also garnet, which we said was the stone of sexuality and courage and passion, and iron, which is the metal that helps encourage one to take initiative, and also dragon's blood, which is an antifungal, bacterial, and viral plant, and if you put it on topically, it's good for digestion, and it also clears out free radicals and is calming. You can purchase dragon's blood as like a smudge stick. You can also purchase it as something you could burn in your altar, like loose leaves, or put in your bath. I actually pretty like it. I have it as a sage stick. I like it. It actually enhances the effects of the regular smudging. Pine is also a plant that's associated with Tuesday, and pine provides general healing, strength, and grounding. It aids with exorcisms, and it's a symbol of an elevated mind. I like pine. I like the oil when I put it in the what do you call it? The aromatherapy thing. I like it. It smells good. So yeah. The gods, orishas, deities, mentors, etc., that's associated with Aries. I'm going to go down the list of the ones that I have that stand out to me, that I care about, kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit, or that I find interesting. If you have any that you want to add, feel free to comment below and say, hey, this god or deity is also associated with, feel free to share what you guys do during Aries season, and what you guys do on a Tuesday, and what you guys plan to do under the moons, or whatever's going on. But anyway, here's the gods I have. I have Mars, of course, which is the Roman god of war. I have Aries, of course, which is the Greek god of war. Anat and Astarte, which are the Canaanite goddesses of war. Bast, which is the cat-headed goddess of war and protector of Lower Egypt. Lower Egypt was all about the cats, and Upper Egypt was all about the dogs. Sekhmet, which is the goddess of warfare, pestilence, and the desert in Egypt. Mer, which is Ethiopia's god of war. Maher. Shala, Ishtar, and Inanna are Mesopotamia's gods of war. Odin is Norse's god of war. Ogon, which is the lord of metals, iron in particular, minerals, tools, war, hunting, wild beasts, and accidents. He's also associated with blood, aggressiveness, and masculinity. He heals diseases of the blood, and his weapon is the machete. Exasi, which is a similar aspect of Mars, and is associated with jail, justice, and those who are persecuted. He is a magician, and his name means the one who works with witchcraft. He is a solitary figure in the wilderness, a hunter, and a shaman. He carries a bow and arrow, and is an ally to the natural spirits of the forest. The tarot cards that are associated with Aries as a whole is the Emperor card, which is a card of power, male influence, confidence, worldly power, and capable of using authority. Upright, it deals with established organizations such as banks, schools, government offices, companies, and it could also mean that you're trying to open a company or an organization. And when it's in reverse, it's disorganization and conflict with an established organization, and you may be taken for granted by an organization or a company right now. Maybe your reputation or position of authority is leading you to a certain level of complacency, and it's now time to take action and address issues. So again, we're coming back to the idea of, building a rebirth, whether you're building a company or it's time to redirect your action and not be complacent with where you are right now. So yeah, that's the card for the season. And also the Queen of Wands. Upright is a person who craves being the center of attention and uses their charm to better themselves or crafty. That's if you have this energy in balance. And if your energy is not balanced, or reverse tarot card, you may feel competitive and manipulative to stay center of attention, and puts value on what they gain and not people, and not good at keeping secrets. So be mindful of that energy during this season. That's tarot card, upright. So those are the two tarot cards. Those are the two energies to be mindful during the Aries season, whether you're upright or in reverse of it. We do know that Aries rules over the first house, and the first house deals with, it's the angular house, and its cusp is the ascendant of one's natal chart. It represents the body you're born with, your physical appearance, your general temperament. Natal planets in the first house have a strong influence on that person's life. When planets transit into this house, our goals are manifested in new projects, ideas, or perspective over family take form. So this house, whatever natal planets you have in this house, that's where a lot of your energy, I combine two words, your motivation, your passion is really in these particular planets that are in this house. So, you could be focused on those things, be mindful of how passionate you are in those things, and find a good fit, find a good balance, because those who have things in the Aries energy, they have a tendency to over-exaggerate or over-exhaust themselves in those particular things, and that's not what you want to do. Aries is associated with the number 9. I love the number 9. I have 4 9s on my birthday. I love 9s. 9s is the number of completeness. It is the number of action, change, achievement, order, physical prowess, forgiveness, compassion, selflessness, miracles, and wisdom. The tarot card associated with the number 9. Well, in terms of tarot, what the number 9 means is forthcoming problems. And we know with problems are solutions. The solutions are kind of sort of synonymous with new beginnings. So don't look at your problems in a negative way. Look at them as redirections. In the Metu-Neter sense, the 9th stage of manifestation is the mother of all living things. It gathers physical elements and forces and coordinates the forces of the other 8 manifestations to give rise to physical things. It is also considered the divine womb. The number 9, people with number 9 energy work without motive, and their purpose is for the greater good of all. They have a protective energy and great power and love in their soul. So that's for people with the number 9 energy. During this time, it's best to pray to the east from sunrise to 9 a.m. From March 21st to May 5th. The netter for this time is Mat, which is the netter that rules over kind of like rules and laws and the way of life and like the divine structure. Like if you're living according to Mat, you can avoid a lot of the things that are happening in the world that we see in the news today. That's fact, but also my opinion simultaneously. It depends on your reality, but when you know the laws of Mat, and if you live by Mat, you really have nothing to worry about. Moving forward, your sympathetic system. This is the system that prepares the body for intense physical activity, your fight or flight system. this system has just begun to put out more than your parasympathetic system, which is the part of your body that's relaxed and makes you move slow, like in the wintertime during hibernation when it's cold and you just want to go home and go to sleep because the sun goes down early. We're doing away with that energy, and our energetic energy is starting to come in and starting to kick up. We were just at a point of equilibrium, but now we're just starting to, get back to being awake. The hot and moist energy is now in activity, so it's a good time to eat like hot and moist things. One may be in need of wanting Jupiter's expansive energy, expanding one's wealth or position. You may be feeling optimistic or have a more panoramic view at life right now. And this is also a good time to work on your liver utilizing herbs. It's liver time. Heraculi is the Netzer during this time. This Netzer is the divine principle that safeguards our existence from injustices of others. This is rooted in the ideal that you reap what you sow. So what you do to others is going to come back to you. And as long as you live by this and you treat others accordingly, the universe is going to treat you accordingly. You are spiritually protected by the divine power because you're putting divine energy within the divine power. In Kemetic tradition, it is the form in which Heru fights against Set in order to regain the throne. This is synonymous with getting control over one's life and then meeting at a stalemate. Heraculi corresponds to the extreme surges of adrenaline that supports our aggressive sexual arousal and our immune responses. In Yoruba, this deity is Ogun, which is the warrior and the powerful spirit of metalwork, as well as rum making, and all that fun stuff. This Netzer is also associated with the fifth sphere, which is the sphere of enforcement, the celestial government or administrative seat of man's analytical faculty, man's understanding and application of principles of justice. One must separate himself and apply proper judgment to himself. The fact that people see war as a threat to survival and flourishment show we have not met this faculty. So during this time, it's best, according to Metuneta, during this time it's best to focus on your fifth sphere, which is your sphere of enforcement. It's time to gain insight on the authority that you have for yourself, the celestial government you have created for yourself, no matter what your gods may be, whether they be things in the physical realm, science, money, economy, or they be, things of the, spiritual realm. It's time to go inward and look at the enforcements that you're putting in life. Are you being easy with yourself in these senses? Are you making excuses for yourself? Are you half-assing in these senses? Or are you sticking to these laws for yourself? Yeah, I'm glad I said that out loud to myself too, because it is time for me to go inward and clean up. I have been lackadaisy with some things that I know I'm supposed to be doing in my spiritual walk, as far as like a routine and a discipline for myself. But this is the time to do that. And when you do this and you understand the principles of justice for yourself and for others, because it really doesn't matter what system or what deity or what gods you have, the thought is the same, that everyone deserves amount of security and peace and happiness by default, that they shouldn't have to be struggling or working for, and anything else is extra, you know what I mean? So like, whatever, enforcements you go into, that thought should be the same. And when you understand that and you learn to apply that, we won't have an issue with self-sacrificing. You won't have an issue for doing things for the greater good of all. And when you put that kind of energy into the universe, that energy is going to come back to you. And so that's basically what that is in a nutshell with the fifth sphere. Um, Again, this nectar is associated with Mars and Tuesday. Um, it's also associated with the colors blood red, which is associated with the root chakra, life force, energy, vitality, and deals with addiction, libido, sexuality, digestive disorders. This area also facilitates a connection with nature. We know that red is the color of passion, royalty, power, leadership, war, vengeance, stamina, and vitality. This nectar is also associated with purple, which is associated with the crown chakra. And crown chakra deals with inner development, spirituality, enlightenment, the seat of the soul, and cosmic energy. Purple is the color of justice and judgment, royalty and industry, age and wisdom, spirituality, insight, and devotion. 11, the number 11 is associated with Harukudu. And in biblical sense, the number 11 signifies judgment and a lack of order. Spiritually, it is the number of insight, intuition, and spiritual transmutation. 1111 is the time of spiritual awakening. Red coral is the stone associated with this, and this is a root chakra stone. It's an energizing stone, and it enhances courage and self-esteem. It's best to wear on Tuesday mornings between 5 and 6 a.m. Garnet is also a stone for this time, and this is also a root chakra energy balancing stone. It enhances one's passion and sex drive to an appropriate balance, and it's a good stone for love and business success. And it's also a traveler stone. Like once upon a time, travelers would always carry this, and bodies would be buried with it because it would help dead people on their journey to the afterlife. So it's a traveler stone. And this stone is best to wear on Tuesday mornings after a bath. From a herbalism sense, it's the best time to take baths with these various herbs that I'm about to read off to you. Romp Saragwe is a herb that removes negative energy and spirits. That's good for bath. Holly is also good for bath, and this removes evil and negative spirits as well. Anamu is also good for baths, and this helps with mood disorders, and it's also an immune booster. Pine is good for baths, and this helps with respiratory ailments, which is really good for right now. And it also balances emotions, your heart chakra, and it's a good energy cleanse. Vencedor is also a good herb for the bath. It helps with problem solving, mind clearing, success, and justice. Oils for this time are pine. I told you guys I use pine as an oil. I really like pine as an oil, but it helps with respiratory illness, which again is really good for this time. And it balances emotions in your heart chakra, and it's a good energy cleanse. Cedar wood is also a good oil to have right now, and that's for spiritual grounding, cleansing, and reawakening. And it also removes any energy blockages you may be feeling right now. The best incense for this time are pine and cedar wood, which we just explained, and also tobacco is a good incense to have right now. And we all know tobacco is associated with Eshwa or Papa Legba, however you guys, I call him Eshwa, but he carries out, he's the crossroad communicator to the other spirits. So when you have tobacco on your altar, that is to, invoke him so that you can get to whatever netter or deity or orisha that you want to get to, or ancestor you want to get to. So tobacco carries thoughts and prayers through the spirit world, it is said. So that's a good incense to have during this time. The spiritual direction during this time is the north. The mundane direction is the southeast. You don't want to be in the southeast right now, or facing there during prayer right now. It's no bueno. The high dry energy of Mars has the following effects on the personality. I'm going to read the personality traits that are going to come out during the hot dry energy of the planet being the center of attention right now. The emotional traits, the positive traits are courage. You may feel a little bit more forcefulness during this time, a little bit more constructive, passionate, and motivated, and a lot more active. I know I have. I have gotten so many projects done. I have this mango thing coming up that I've been making stuff for. I've been just making jewelry off of GP. I've been making myself stuff. So you may be feeling more active during this time. Some negative traits that you may be feeling this time that you want to be wary of. You may be feeling a little quarrelsome, arrogant, rash, irritable, excessive. excessively passionate, or you might be exhibiting some addictive traits. Not necessarily drugs, but it could also be food or the internet or Netflix or whatever. You might be overindulging in something right now. So just be mindful of those energies. You don't want to be over excessive, even though you feel a surge of energy and you don't know, like, well, how I want to put this into something. Be mindful, you know, you're not going too far off the deep end. I know a lot of people are going off the deep end in social media right now. Some people are going off the deep end with the virus. Some people are going off the deep end with hand sanitizer. A lot of people are going off the deep end with toilet paper. I don't know what that's about, but it is what it is. And, you know, it's just get your Aries energy in check. It's gonna be okay. Find a balance to put all that energy into, you know, work out or read books, or, you know, find multiple outlets instead of, you know, going off the deep end in one. That's my advice for that. But some of your mental traits you might be gaining during the season. You might be gaining insight into things by separating its parts through abstract analogies. So, you know, during this time is probably like the best way for you to learn right now is when you're breaking, you know, things apart. I know a lot of my conspiracy theorists at home are doing that right now, breaking things apart, having abstract analogies and putting things back together to understand things. And kudos to you guys. Same thing's happening right now with our scientists that are trying to figure out about the virus right now. Kudos to those guys. And our healthcare workers that are doing the same thing, and our sanitation workers that are doing the same thing right now. Everybody's kind of doing that right now mentally. So as above, so is below. It's pretty cool how that applies. The social identities mostly gravitate to this energy. So I'm just gonna go across the social correspondences, which are like the hats people wear during the season that are being invoked the most, or being on the forefront the most, or paid attention the most. And mind you, this is coming from the book Metu Netter. I'm not making this shit up. The social correspondents during this time are soldiers, fighters, firefighters, the police, military people, butchers, hunters, lawyers, judges, anybody in type of like justice system or humanitarian kind of position, or like that position that requires a lot of adrenaline and action, which is so ironic because right now when we have all this going on, that's what we have on the forefront right now are those people. You know, the spotlight's on them. So that applies. The spiritual portfolio traits during this time are justice, detachment, courage, and external obstructions. The spiritual functions during this time, according to Metu Netter, underneath all actions is the desire to succeed, and this depends on the divine law of Ma'at. Our protection from all external obstructions, harm, is under Herkuti, but all external obstructions are reflections of our obstructions of the law of Ma'at. When dealing with others, by removing our identity from our persons and rooting it in the indwelling intelligence, we find the strength to be just to all at all times. Thus we receive protection and the courage to sacrifice our lives for the well-being of others. So like what I said earlier, like the spiritual like focus during the season is to go inward and redirect yourself on the law that you have created for yourself. And according to Metu Netter, right now is the law of Ma'at. And so that's the law that you're supposed to be applying to yourself and reconfiguring within yourself. And when you do that, it helps with the external obstructions that are going on. Like you see people getting viruses and and catching a virus and getting a virus. Okay, well if you were following the laws, which are like apply to certain levels of cleanliness and how you handle certain things, that wouldn't be happening. If you know you go outward and you see like war, or you know people dying a certain way, or like you know some of these people have been talking about this thing going on with the celebrities and things like that. But if these people were going inward and reconfiguring themselves to the law, like none of those external obstructions would be happening. So that's basically what I just read. It's time to go inward and reconfigure yourself to the law so that you can go outward and be your best self and be able to be self-sacrificing for the justice of others in any way, shape, or form that is needed, without fear or without any thought of selfishness, because you're living according to the law. And when you do that, the universe abides accordingly. The stars will align for you the way they need to, the way you desire them to. The best prayer to have during this time is a prayer without expectations. The best energy to have right now is the energy without expectations. It's just to better you and better everyone for the whole. It's humanitarian time. That's what that is basically in a nutshell. So the biological correspondence during the season, you may, on a physiological level, this season may be taking charge of your immune system and your voluntary muscular system. This is a time where you may be feeling the elimination of toxin through your skin, as you know, we're starting to sweat and stuff like that from the hot, dry climate. You may also feel sexual excitement because it's Aries and fire and energy and sex and stuff. You also have, from a pathological point of view, acute disorders, fevers, inflammation. Some people have allergies during the season, and infection disorders, which we have like this infection thing going around. And some people may be getting wounds, especially from weapons during this time, because it's Aries season, so people are fighting and acting crazy. Burns, skin disorders, injuries, and accidents during this time. Yeah. The comedic therapeutics during this time are surgery, stimulants, tonics, and aphrodisiacs. In the Chinese medicine during this time, that's on the forefront, is the different ways to detox and drain and fire remedies. So that's what's happening from a medicinal sense, according to Metu Netter. And when you get a Harukuti reading, when you know, if you have the Metu Netter cards and you draw this card, you are being warned to make sure that your zealous and courageous drive is being guided by the wise, which is the council, Tahuti, people that follow under that sign, a plan, which is Seker, and knowledge of law, which is Ma, and directed by Haru, which is a decision not made on emotions or desires, but a decision made on humanitarianism. So, you know, make sure whatever it is that you're directing your energy towards, you have wise counsel, a plan, and it abides by your internal laws, which, you know, hopefully is the law of Ma. And it's also not driven to emotions and selfishness, but driven towards humanitarianism and for the greater good of all. So that's what happens when you draw that card. So that is Aries season in a nutshell from multiple standpoints of spirituality and religion. And so now we're going to get into the planetary alignments. What are the planets doing? Where are they at? Where are they going? What does that mean to you? How do you apply that to your natal chart? How do you apply that to your current state of mind and what you're doing? We're going to try to cover all that a little bit and a lot of it. If you have questions on anything, feel free to comment or message me. I like to answer questions. But we're going to start off with Mercury. Mercury rules the decision-making mind and how one communicates, teaches, and learns. And we experience Mercury retrograde from February 17th to March 10th, where we bounce back and forth between Mercury being in Aquarius and Pisces. And during this time, we had like a really creative, expansive, imaginative mind from the Pisces, and then we were kind of like detached, but still independent and original from Aquarius. So we're bouncing back and forth between those energies. Then we landed in Pisces on March 16th, and during this time one may feel a highly sensitive, sympathetic, intuitive, imaginative mind. One may have found themselves interested in writing, art, poetry, acting, nursing, or humanitarian work. Occasionally, one may receive mental or emotional overloads, and it's advised to balance and silence the seclusion. And then we bounce over to Aries, April 11th. And at this time, energy is directed towards being observant, sharp, quick-witted, and have a competitive mind. You will be able to influence others by writing and also verbal communications. You may also be a little sarcastic and over enthusiastic to things, and you might overreact to things. So be mindful of that energy when you're trying to promote yourself or educate others or try to influence others, you know, with how you want to be swayed. And you know what? That's funny because that really does apply right now, even though we're not in Aries, Mercury in Aries yet. But you know, a lot of people that want to be heard and want their theories or their hypothesis to be heard as far as what's going on right now, they are appearing to be overly aggressive and, you know, arrogant and things like that in their communication. Just be mindful of that. Just be mindful of that. So now moving on to Venus. Venus rules love and finances and what one is attracted to. From March 5th to April 2nd, Venus was in Taurus. And during that time, you may have felt affectionate, loyal, faithful, and have a romantic nature and a sense of possessiveness. Your emotional well-being is dependent upon the security and stability in your life, and you'll feel enticed to beautify yourself and your space. So you might have found yourself buying things to make your area pretty and nice, and everybody had income tax and stuff, so, you know, new couches and TVs and jewelry and clothes. From April 3rd until April 3rd till August 6th, Venus is in Gemini. But Gemini is cool. I have my Mars is in Gemini. It's just something about Gemini energy. It's too wishy-washy. It's not concrete enough for me. I think that's what it is that like makes me irritated. But so from April 3rd to August 6th, Venus is in Gemini, but Venus will be going in retrograde from May 13th until June 24th. So prepare yourself for that. The Venus in retrograde from May 13th to June 24th. And that would be all happening in Gemini. During this season, relationships where talking, sharing ideas, going places, and challenging each other's mindsets are more appealing to you at this time. And you will be in need of a lot of social stimulation. You might find yourself having multiple love partners. You might find yourself entertaining multiple friends. You might find yourself just all over the place because that's where you'll be with your Venus in Gemini. You'll be everywhere. Just everywhere until August 6th, the end of the summertime, when everybody's getting ready to go back to school and bundle up for the fall time and blah blah blah. That's funny. But while Gemini is in retrograde, you will experience challenges in love and finances. So from May 13th to 6/24, be mindful of your love situations and your finances, because you may experience a little bit of challenges and those. Just be ready. You don't have to view them as challenges. Just be ready for what's to come. Mars rules our animal instincts, our motivations, energy, desires, how you express anger and what makes you angry, what makes you act, and how you direct your ambition. All these things. Mars was in Capricorn from February 16th to March 30th. And during this time, you asserted yourself in a practical, disciplined manner, which much of your energy is channeled into professional and social success. And then Mars went into Aquarius season from March 31st to May 12th. And during this time, you will assert yourself in an original, dynamic, independent, and well-organized manner. You will be motivated to participate in humanitarian activities, and you may seem a bit zany and unfocused or airy. So from March 31st to May 12th, Mars will be in Aquarius, and you'll be feeling original. You'll be doing things, and a lot of your energy you want to focus on doing for others, and that's pretty cool because, you know, right now in this space and time, we're supposed to be going inward and building ourselves up. So at the end of you know, we can go on forth and do things like that. So it coincides, like the planet position coincides with what you're supposed to do according to Netter book. So that's pretty cool, right? I think it's pretty cool. Jupiter rules over generosity, tolerance, law, religion, tradition, order, business, growth, wisdom, and luck. Jupiter is in Capricorn right now, has been in Capricorn since December 2nd, 2019, and it will be in Capricorn until December 18th, 2020. So about a year Jupiter is in a sign. While Jupiter is in Capricorn, one develops a strong sense of duty, integrity, honesty, mature judgment, sound business ethics, a drive for importance, power, status, and dignity, balance of creativity and business, and one may be more attracted to power. So it's cool that Mars is in Aquarius, so you feel humanitarian, and then Jupiter is in Capricorn, so while your energy is being directed towards that, your feelings of tolerance and law and generosity is in that power structure, status, and dignity. So people in higher statuses, people are going to work themselves to get to those higher statuses and maintain that generous energy whilst doing it. So that's kind of exciting to see. And also, Jupiter will be in retrograde starting May 14th. Jupiter will be in retrograde. So prepare yourself for that from May 14th to September 12th. And I'll get into that deeper with you when we talk about Taurus season. And that's in a video ahead of time. Saturn rules the restrictions, boundaries, depression, self-discipline, and how one may distance themselves. It also rules how one may be restraining themselves, their fears and challenges. And Saturn is in Capricorn, and it has been in Capricorn since December 20th, 2017, and it will be in Capricorn until March. Yeah. March 21st, 2020. So, that's fun. So, in order to succeed in your social position in the world, you will have to gain knowledge and expertise associated with worldly power, status, achievement, and ability to deal effectively with authority. You should develop ambition and determination to excel. So, we're chilling in Capricorn until March 21st, and then when March 22nd came until July 1st, Saturn is in Aquarius for the next 3 and a quarter months. And while Saturn's in Aquarius season, in order to succeed in your social position in the world, you have to gain knowledge, expertise associated with developing and tolerating people of other social groups and friends. Intellectual power is important. Original thinking, intuition, investigative nature, and scientific reasoning is being brought to the forefront. So while Saturn was in Capricorn, you were focused on learning about the trade, learning about the laws, the structure, and everything like that. But with Saturn in Aquarius, now it's time to learn about the people, learn about the interactions, learn about how to be an individual, inventive, original. And then May 11th, Saturn's going into retrograde, and Saturn's going into retrograde until September 28th. And in July, on the 2nd, Saturn goes from Aquarius back to Capricorn, and then go back to Aquarius in December. So we're gonna hang out in Aquarius for a little bit, and then we're gonna make our way back to Capricorn in the summertime, and then make our way back to Aquarius in the winter time. So that's what Saturn is doing right now. It's bouncing us back and forth between developing relationships with others and learning the laws of the trade that we're pursuing. So as you get that back and forth, observe that energy going back and forth. That's a lookout on Saturn's behalf. Uranus governs over one's individuality, progressiveness, change, the force that makes one do things in a new way or face truth about their ways. And Uranus has been in Taurus from March 6, 2019, and it'll stay in Taurus, until April 26, 2026. And while Uranus is in Taurus, one will have clarity and insight on how to make changes or a new direction. Disruption will occur through clinging to old value systems that are not in harmony with the new direction. So as we're going inward and making new laws for ourselves, and we're going outward and we're building relationships, we're creating a new direction, and we're doing it in a humanitarian way because our Mars is in Aquarius doing humanitarian things, and Jupiter is just reinventing the traditions, and Uranus is helping us break free of the old laws. So we're doing what's going on above. That's what's going on below. And then Neptune rules the subconscious, our dreams, healing, inspiration, and our psychic sensitivity. This is the dimension of life that cannot be experienced by the five senses. And right now, Neptune is in Pisces, and it has been in Pisces since February 4th, 2012. And it will be in Pisces until January 26, 2026. And while Neptune is in Pisces, one may be feeling a feeling of selflessness, the desire to serve others and alleviate physical and spiritual problems. One may feel the desire to be self-sacrificing and be mindful of addictive, any over-emotional or over-imaginative behaviors during this time, because one may be feeling a strong sense of being gullible, or a strong sense of codependency. Be mindful of that as well. And prayers are successful if given without expectations during this time. So while Pisces and Neptune, we're feeling real expansive, which is helping us to let go of our old laws and traditions with Uranus and Taurus, and we're making new laws under Jupiter and new traditions under Jupiter, and with our energy of Mars in Aquarius, we're doing it all in a humanitarian way. And then we got our Pluto, which rules over death and rebirth and destruction and healing, power and secrets, and how one will transform. Pluto's in Capricorn. It has been in Capricorn since January 26, 2008, and will stay in Capricorn until January 20th, 2024. And during this time, be cautious of all things. Pluto in Capricorn is bringing ambition and patience. Some may have to learn the hard way before they gain patience. I know I've had to learn the hard way a couple times before I gained patience. I'm still there, still in the making. Misuse of disruption of power comes to light during this time. Focus on transformations and success and power during this time. So for those that have been building, keep building, because this is the time for you. So from like 2024 to like 2026, it seems like there's gonna be like a nice shift as the planets go into like a new house, under a new sign and things like that. But right now, this seems to be like the time of building and transformation and focusing on bringing things to light and breaking things apart, which is pretty exciting. And from April 26, 2020 to October 3rd, Pluto will be in retrograde. And during that time, you'll focus on how you self-sabotage, restrict yourself, and you're going to rearrange your past and your disciplines that are no longer serving you while Pluto's in retrograde in Capricorn. The new moon is the moon of rebirth, and this is the beginning moon phase to the moon cycle representing rest and beginnings. This is the perfect time to go inward and get in tune with yourself, begin planning goals for yourself, and do rituals of growth. March 24, 2020, the new moon was under Aries, and this was the courage to face things with as much honesty as possible. It calls an individual to ask themselves how they can be of service, furthering the cause. The full moon is the moon of celebration, and this moon came with a surge of energy. This was a great time to cleanse and charge yourself in your spaces. And this is also a great time to finish any projects you may have open. And it's a great time for cleansing and protection rituals. And on April 8th, 2020, the full moon will be in Libra, and you may be craving balance in your work and social life. You may be feeling influenced to balance your relationships and activities and finish open projects. Harmony shall be created under this moon. It's a Virgo ascending season, so all the babies of this time are Virgo ascending. So I'm happy about that. We're having some organized babies coming to life. The midheaven is in Gemini, so it's a little bit of everything everywhere. Mars, Jupiter, and Pluto are traveling within 2 to 3 degrees from each other. Our energy is motivated by death and rebirth of our traditions and laws and religion. It may happen in an extreme way because Pluto and Jupiter are so close to Mars, and Mars is the energizing planet. Um, March 14th, around March 14th, is when Mars, Jupiter, and Pluto being together is at its strongest. It starts to ease by March 30th as Mars exits Capricorn and goes into Aquarius the 31st. And then Jupiter and Capricorn are within the same degree, meaning they're in conjunction with each other, both at 24 degrees. So not Jupiter and Capricorn, Jupiter and Pluto, they are within the same degree of one another. So we'll have like that law and all those things come to light on the 31st. Mercury has been in conjunct with Neptune starting the 26th and 27th of March and was at its strongest on April 4th. Our learning and decision making will be expansive, out of the box, and it will be brand new to all of us, which has been happening these past few days. Mars goes into conjunct with Saturn March 15th, and it's at its strongest on March 31st. On this day, energy is directed towards regulations, restrictions, in an aggressive manner. And that is happening until April 15th, 16th, with Mars being so close to Saturn. So that's what's happening on the planet forecast for the Aries season, going into Taurus season. And then I touched a few seasons ahead, which, I'll be going over again and again. And just to show you guys, because I said I was going to show you guys some jewelry that can be applied to the Aries season. You want to go with like black stones and red stones, your root chakra stones that bring energy and confidence and things of that nature. So I have this red jasper stone with red jasper, unakite, and obsidian stones on it. So that's like a nice root chakra stone ring. And then I also have this ring, which has the green aventurine, and it has amethyst, which is good for directing your energy as you go inward and start talking to yourself about the laws of Mount, things of that nature. I have smoky wands. I have a smoky wand with red jasper in it. I have an obsidian Africa ring, and all my rings are adjustable. I have bracelets and rings galore that you could check on Let's Nobody's collection. I didn't really take stuff out to prepare myself for this. I kind of put myself on the spot. I don't know why I did that. But yeah, so check out letsnobodiescollection.com, and that's where I have all my things. You're more than welcome to message me and ask me if you have questions about things. I hope you guys enjoyed my planetary forecast and my zodiac seasonal reading. Until next time, guys, be mindful of your aggressive energy during the season. Direct your energy during the season. Direct your inner laws for yourself. Get rid of things that no longer serve you. And be ready for this new world order. It's kind of exciting. We're reorganizing ourselves on a planetary level, and it's such an important time and space. And if you want the external to be what you want it to be, instead of being fearful, be excited and be happy and go inward and reconstruct the laws within you so you can go outward and be a part of the wave that's changing things for the good, so we don't have anything to be afraid of. So, we can look out into the world and think positively of the future instead of afraid because of what we think other people in power might do. Maybe if we go inward, we become those people of power and we live under those laws. Would that help us with our fear? I think so. I think we should work on that. Until next time, guys.